So let's move on to the Republic Act 9293 for amendments to certain sections of Republic Act 7836, otherwise known as the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994. But before we proceed, ano nga ba ang amendments? Amendments is a minor change or addition designed to improve a text, in short, a minimal revision to certain section of Republic Act 7836. So, bakit nga ba nagkaroon ng amendments to certain section of Republic Act 7836 is because of call for 21st century reforms, because they seen that Republic Act 7836 is not a solution that guarantees quality teachers. So, the government funded for let for only legitimized and who lacks of teaching skills. Therefore, the teacher education school improved their programs and faculty. However, the CHED make the education curriculum harder. Bakit? To ensure the quality graduates. Dito kasi gusto nilang mag-produce ng mga quality teachers. And syempre, hindi papahuli si DepEd. So, ang naisip ni DepEd ay magkaroon ng training teachers is one of response, or sabi nga, it is the temporary solution to lack of quality. After Presidential Decree 1006 and the Republic Act 7836 is nagkaroon tayo ng another law na Republic Act 9293, known as Act amending certain section of Republic Act 7836, and here are some details of the amendments. Section 1, Section 15E3 of Republic Act 7836 is hereby amended as follows. Section 15, Qualification Requirements of Applicants. So, dito sinasabi yung mga kailangan before ka makapag-take ng licensure examination, and it says, no applicant shall be admitted to take the examination unless on the date of filing of the application he shall have complied with the following requirements. A graduate of a school, college, or university recognized by the government and possesses the minimum educational qualifications as follows. Number 1, for teachers in preschool, bachelor's degree in early childhood education, or the BSED or its equivalent. Number 2, for teachers in the elementary grades, a bachelor's degree in elementary education, or BSEED or its equivalent. Number 3, for teachers in the secondary grades, a bachelor's degree in education or its equivalent with a major or minor, or a bachelor degree in arts and sciences with at least 18 units in professional education. So, from 10 units under dun sa Republic Act 7836 is nag-add sila ng 8 units, kaya naging 18 units sa Republic Act 9392. And last, number 4, for teachers of vocational and 2-year technical courses, a bachelor's degree in the field of specialization or its equivalent with at least 18 units in professional education.
So our next topic is the Section 2 under Republic Act 9293. Section 26 of the same Act is hereby recommended to read as follows. So in section 2, we have the section 26. It is the registration and exception. It states that no person shall engage in teaching and or act as a professional teacher as defined in this act, whether in the preschool, elementary, or secondary level, unless a person is duly registered professional teacher and a holder of valid special or temporary permit. So this section 26 says who can be a teacher and who cannot. It means that if you want to teach children in any level of school, you need to have a license or a permit that shows you are qualified and allowed to do so. A license is a document that you get after you pass an exam and meet other requirements. A permit is a document that you get for a short time or for a special reason. For example, if you are a foreign teacher who wants to teach in the Philippines, you might need a permit. If you do not have a license or a permit, you cannot teach or call yourself a professional teacher. Upon approval of the application and payment of the prescribed fees, the certificate of registration and professional license as a professional teacher shall be issued without examination as required in this act to a qualified applicant who is a holder of a certificate of eligibility as a teacher issued by the Civil Service Commission in the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports, or a registered professional teacher with the National Board for Teachers under the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports, pursuant to the Presidential Decree number 1006. So this part of the law that says who can be a teacher without taking an exam, it means that if you have a document from the Civil Service Commission and the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports that says you are eligible to be a teacher, or if you have a document from the National Board for Teachers under the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports that says you are a registered teacher, then you can get a license to be a professional teacher without taking an exam. A license is a document that shows you are qualified and allowed to teach. An exam is a test that you have to pass to show your knowledge and skills. Professional teachers who have not practiced their profession for the past 5 years shall take at least 6 units of pedagogy and 6 units of content courses or the equivalent training in number of hours, to be chosen from a list of courses to be provided by the Board and the Department of Education before they can be followed to practice their profession in the country. So this part of law says what teachers need to do if they have not taught for a long time. It means that if you are a professional teacher but you have not taught for 5 years or more, you need to take some courses or training before you can teach again. The courses or training will help you refresh your knowledge and skills in teaching and in the subject that you teach. You need to take at least 6 units of pedagogy and 6 units of content courses. Pedagogy is the study of how to teach effectively. Content courses are the courses that are related to the subject that you teach, such as math, science, or English. You can choose the courses or training from a list that the board and the Department of Education will provide. The board is the professional regulatory board of teachers that regulates the profession of teaching. The Department of Education is the government agency that oversees the education system in the country. Those who have failed the licensure examination for the professional teachers with a rating of not lower than 5 percentage points from the passing general average rating shall be eligible as para-teachers upon issuance by the board of a 2-year special permit, renewable for a non-extendable period of 2 years. So this part of law says who can be a para-teacher. A para-teacher is a person who helps a professional teacher in teaching. It means that if you took the exam to be a professional teacher, but you did not pass it by a small margin, you can still be a para-teacher for up to 4 years. You need to get a special permit from the board that will allow you to be a para-teacher. The board is the professional regulatory board of teachers that regulates the profession of teaching. The special permit is valid for 2 years and can be renewed once for another 2 years. After that, you cannot be a para-teacher anymore. The para-teachers shall be assigned to areas where there is a shortage or absence of a professional teacher, as identified or provided by the Department of Education in the ARMM or Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao Education Department, to the Board for Professional Teachers, and to the Commission. The special permit shall indicate the area of assignment of the para-teacher. So this means that the para-teachers can only work in places where there are not enough or no professional teachers at all. These places are identified or provided by the Department of Education and the ARMM Education Department. The Department of Education is the government agency that oversees the education system in the country. The ARMM Education Department is the government agency that oversees the education system in the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, which is a special region that has more autonomy than other regions. The Board for Professional Teachers and the Commission are the authorities that regulate the profession of teaching. The special permit that allows the para-teachers to work will show the place where they are assigned to work. A special permit may also be issued by the board to a person who has excelled and gained international recognition and is widely acknowledged expert in his or her respective field or specialization. So this says who can get a special permit to be a professional teacher without taking an exam. It means that if you are a person who is very good and famous in your field of specialization and you are recognized by other countries for your work, you can get a special permit to be a professional teacher. A field of specialization is the area that you focus on and you have expertise in, such as music, art, or sports. A special permit is a document that shows you that you are qualified and allowed to teach.
Section 3. Section 31 of the same Act is hereby amended to read as follows. Section 31. Transitory Provision. What is transitory provision? It is special permits with a validity of 3 and 5 years issued to para-teachers by the Board for Professional Teachers before the effectivity of this Act shall be allowed to expire based on the period granted therein, and it is provided that only special permits with a validity of 3 years may be renewed upon expiration for a non-extendable period of 2 years. Section 4. References to the term Department of Education, Culture, and Sports in Section 4A and Section 25, and the term DEX in Section 20 of the same Act
are hereby amended to read as Department of Education and DepEd, respectively. So before we used to call Department of Education, Culture and Sports, it is now amended to Department of Education or DepEd. Separability clause. If for any reason, any section or provision of this Act or the application of such section or provision to any person or circumstance is declared unconstitutional or invalid, no other section or provision of this Act shall be affected thereby. Or, should any provision of this Act or any part thereof be declared invalid, the other provisions, insofar as they are separable from the invalid ones, shall remain in full force and effect. Section 6. Repealing clauses. All laws, decrees, circulars, administrative orders, rules and regulations, and other issuances which are inconsistent with the provisions of this Act are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. A repealing clause is a part of a law that cancels or revokes a previous law. It is a statutory provision that repeals an earlier statute. Section 7. Effectivity. This Act shall take effect upon approval. Approved, S.G.D. Jose de Venecia, Jr., Speaker of the House of Representatives, and S.G.D. Franklin M. Drilon, President of the Senate. This Act, which is a consolidation of Senate Bill number 2698 and House Bill number 5411, was finally passed by the Senate and the House of Representatives on February 6, 2004 and February 7, 2004 respectively. S.G.D. Roberto P. Nazareno, Secretary General, House of Representatives. S.G.D. Oscar G. Yaves, Secretary of the Senate. Approved April 21, 2004. S.G.D. Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, the President of the Philippines. So that's it.
So that's all. Thank you for listening and watching.